Hello and welcome to Section 2. In this section, we are going to talk about how to extract information from web servers. What we'll learn in this section is we are going to learn how to extract information from web servers using various tools. First, we're going to take a look at using DNSRecon. Then we're going to move into using Automator in our second video. And then we are going to take a look at fingerprinting web servers in our third and final video of this section. In this video, we're going to talk about using DNSRecon to gather some initial information about a website. What we're going to be looking at in this particular lesson is we're going to be discussing briefly the purpose of DNS. We're going to look at some of the useful information that's contained within DNS, as well as where DNSRecon comes in as a tool. We're going to run that, and then we're going to go over interpreting the information that is output from this particular tool. In this video, what we are going to take a look at in demo is the DNSRecon utility, which is going to be used to extract useful information, or we should say just information, out of the DNS database. Now, if you think of DNS as a pyramid with a server at the top, and then another level with more servers underneath that, and another level under that with more servers, what we're using this for is to target a location on one of those servers, like a domain name in this case, and we want to find the records associated with it. Now, DNSRecon is just a simple command line utility. If we put it in and hit enter on it just at the command line, we'll see right away it's got a whole bunch of options available to it. Okay, now we aren't really going to use all those options here for this demo, but there are plenty of them available for you to use and explore. So in this case, what we want to do is we want to find information relating to a specific domain name, and there actually is an easy way to do that. And the way we do that is I'm just going to clean up my screen here by issuing the clear command. So there we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a DNSRecon. And now this time around I'm going to specify a domain name. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use the switch, the aptly named switch, the -D switch. And then I'm going to put in a domain. Now notice I am not putting in on this domain the www. I don't need that. That's not part of this. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop that in. Now once I pop that in, I have everything I need, and I will go ahead and hit enter. And you can see the command starts, and it's doing its work for us, and it has stopped, and you can see it's told us it's found some records. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of browse these records to see just what it has found for us. So let's go up to the command where it was run. So there's where I entered the command initially. So it started up, doing its thing, and then boom, it started finding some stuff of interest. Srv authority record, which isn't really necessary for what we do, but we can see where that's located in the IP address. Then we see all these NS records. These are name server records. So if we look over here to the next column, that is the actual fully fleshed out name of each one of those name servers. So NS1, NS2, and DNS1, DNS2, and so on and so forth. And then again, same format. Last column is the IP address of that particular server. So then we go down and we see a whole bunch of MX records. Now MX records are helpful if we are going to be looking for the mail server for a domain. Right now we're not. So doesn't have any importance for the operation we're doing, but it's something in a general sense if you're doing reconnaissance with this you might want to take a note of, because that can be something that could be useful for later tests you might do. And again, you see all the MX records specifying mail exchanger, then you see the host name, and then you see the IP address on the last column. Now, when we go down a little further, now we're finding something that is of interest to us. Okay, so there you see the A record. That is going to be a forward lookup record. So it means if we request a domain name, it's going to, or IP address for a domain name rather, we will send a query out to DNS looking for, in this case, I chose a regularly available domain name, usatoday.com. It means this name server will take that request and return the IP address in the last column, as it would with any record. But in this case, since we're looking specifically for the web server, it's going to give that IP address. Okay, so that's kind of our golden ticket for this. Now, the rest is just as an FYI. The TXT records, those are just simple text records, and those can contain really a number of different things. And the Srv records, those are service records, which can be useful for a lot of other purposes. And here in this case, when I read through them, it looks like this site is using at least Microsoft's link technology. They're probably hosting it out in a third party. So, in any case, we see the IP addresses, and you'll also notice for the first time in this group of records, you'll notice that we have IP6 addresses specified in here, which are entirely acceptable. So, there you go. There is using DNS Recon, and we now have an IP address for our attacks to target. What you saw in this video was an overview of DNS. Then we gave a discussion and quick look at the different types of records that are contained within inside of DNS. Looked at the purpose of DNS Recon through a little demo. And then discussed how to use DNS Recon and looked at analyzing output. So at this point, you should have at least a minimal footprint of your target, which is a web server.